Hello, welcome back to another segment of Phases of Life Inspirational Entertainment. Tonight, I would like to give a recap of the video I made on accountability. Accountability. The meaning is the fact or condition of being accountable. Responsibility. When I was doing this video concerning accountability, it brought me to a book that I wrote back in March of 2016. The title of the book is You Are the Key to Someone Else's Blessing. That is the tagline for Phases of Life. Phases of Life, you are the key to someone else's blessing. And so I wrote about you are the key to someone else's blessing because I truly believe that every person in the world has something that someone else needs. However, if you don't utilize the gifts, the talents, and abilities that you have, someone will be missing out. And so I believe that that person or the persons that don't do their divine purpose, don't live their divine purpose, they will cause somebody to miss out on their blessings. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to help connect people to their blessings. And with the little bit of information that I have, my experiences in life, that's what I give to my audience. So thank you so much for tuning in. I wanted to piggyback on accountability on the video that I made concerning accountability. And thank you, Bobby, so much for your response and your encouragement to me to continue to do what I'm doing, because that's very important to me to make sure that I give information that's going to be a blessing to people. So thank you so much for reaching out to me concerning my videos. And I encourage all of you that are watching to take the opportunity to subscribe to my channel. It is an encouragement to me to continue to do what I'm doing. A lot of times we think that what we do is not good enough. It's not good enough because we're not college educated, or we don't have a certain status in society. So I want to encourage those of you that have a desire to live your dreams, to have your own talk show, to write a book, whatever it is that you desire to do, make sure you do it, because when you do it, you're encouraging somebody else. Always remember that you're the key to someone else's blessing. The accountability factor that I wanted to capitalize on tonight is found on 118 in my proof book. I'm not quite sure if that's the actual page from the actual book, but the proof has it on page 118. So this is back in 2016, and this is what I had written concerning that. What does accountability mean to me? And I took the word accountability as an acronym, and these are the things that popped out at me as I wrote that word. So for the A, I have the acceptance. Accepting one's part, not accepting me, because everybody's not going to accept me. Everybody's not going to accept you. But I have to accept my own personal part and value that I give to the world, to someone who needs encouragement. I have to accept my own personal part. What is my part in being a blessing to someone else? What is it that I have that someone else needs? And so I have to remember that I have to accept accept the fact that I do have a part to play, and that in playing my part, I will actually help and be a blessing to someone else. The C, the first C, is care. Caring enough to do something. When you have gifts, talents, and abilities, to do something great. You're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it to help someone else. And the part of you that is going to walk out the destiny, the part of you that desire to fulfill the destiny, that part of you is showing an act of caring, because you feel like you have to do something. There's something on the inside of you that makes you care enough to say, look, I have something. I have something to offer. I have something to give. And so to me, that speaks volumes. You have to care. You have to care about other people in order to do what you're doing. And speaking of Bobby, I've seen him talk about things about church and, things that he don't understand in the church. And a lot of people have a lot of church hurt. And so when people are hurt by the church, it makes them feel like don't nobody care. Because they have a heart that cares. They want the people that they are surrounding themselves with to care. And oftentimes you have to separate yourself from the people that don't care and begin to network with the people that do care. And so you want to be around people that celebrate you instead of people that tolerate you. So you being a person that cares, make sure that you be around other people that care. The other C is coach. You have to remain coachable, coaching others into doing the same thing. So me doing what I've been doing, I've received coaching from the different people that I've worked for. Whether they knew it or not, they were my coaches. I was watching them. And so sometimes from your coaches, you learn what not to do. And so whenever you're in a situation where you're being coached, you make sure you pay attention so that when you're coaching others into doing or helping assist them to do the things that you've done, like write a book, you can cut some of the things out that is unnecessary. And so the second C is coach. Coaching others into doing the same thing. So whatever I do, I have to encourage other people to do the same thing. Like I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you, I'm encouraging you to do the same thing for somebody else. It's like a domino effect. You know what I'm saying? So the O, ownership. Own up to one's responsibilities. We talked about accountability and responsibility being a part of the things that you need in order to move out from destiny, taking the responsibility, doing the things you know you have to do, and then creating a habit of doing something every day until your dreams and your goals are accomplished. So take ownership for the things that you're responsible for, and don't put it off on somebody else. Well, this didn't happen because so-and-so didn't know. There's no excuses. No excuses. I read somewhere, I think one of my old bosses had in her office, nothingness. Excuses are monuments of nothingness. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's exactly what it is. It's nothingness. So you want to take ownership for the things that you're responsible for. Take responsibility for your things, the things that you need to do for yourself. Make sure you're lining yourself up to create change for other people where they won't have to make the same mistakes that you've made. So be responsible. The U stands for unification. United we stand, divided we always fall into traps of the enemy. And when I say the enemy, there's a word that says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness in high places. And I may or may not say that correctly. And I guess I could have read it out of the Bible, but we know that we're dealing with spiritual wickedness. And so whenever we have issues with people, it's not really the persons. We have to make sure that we're walking in a place and a space of unity, oneness, togetherness, and I've probably mentioned in the other video that sometimes you have to separate yourself. But when you begin to unify yourself and stand with people and unite with people, and you're going with people that are that you're emulating, trying to be like, you looking up to, they're mentoring you, you're coaching, you're getting coached. These are people that are around you that are doing the same things that you're doing. You know, they're looking to go to the next dimensional level in their lives. So make sure that your unification, you understand that you're being united. You're being united to stand, because no one gets anywhere alone, literally. I mean, when you separate yourself, you're separating yourself for a season. But then you're going to have to come around people and begin to get involved with people. You want to make sure that you're getting involved with people that are constantly trying to move up and move and take advantages of the things that they need to do. Okay? Not to say that you're not going to have any failures, because you fail forward. Now, when you fail and you end up saying, well, nah, that's not for me, that's not necessarily true. There's something that you have to learn in order to move forward. It doesn't mean that it's not for you. You just have to get up, brush yourself off, and keep on moving forward. You know, things don't always work out the way you want them to work out, and you just have to say to yourself, listen, I'm going to keep on trying. I'm going to keep on going until it happens. It's going to happen. You have to encourage yourself. It's going to happen. It's going to happen in due time and due season. For every thing under the sun, there's a time and a season for it. So you have to wait for your time and your season, okay? The other word is nurture. Nurturing one another into one's personal greatness. I feel that what I do here is an opportunity for me to nurture you and to walk into your own personal greatness. Nurturing someone, I'm giving you that motherly love. As a matter of fact, Tirzah in the names, I guess the English name books, it means Earth Mother. So it's my nature to mother you, to encourage you like a mother would encourage you, to never give up on your dreams, to stay steadfast, unmovable, always abounding, okay? To nurture one another into greatness, meaning you don't want to discourage an individual. You know, when you nurture a plant, and you dig up the ground and you break up the soil and you dig it up and you put the seed in and then you cover it up, then you water the seed, okay? And you spray little stuff around to make sure the bugs don't come and eat the plant up. And you know what I'm saying? Once it starts coming up out of the ground, you want to make sure you pick all the weeds out and make sure it grows. You nurture that plant, or you nurture those vegetables in the garden, you know. Being nurturing. It's a mother. When your baby is born and you're talking and cooing and gooing with the baby, and while you're changing the pampers, and you know, while you're taking the baby a bath and you massaging the scalp as you bathing the baby, you know, those types of things. Being nurturing. Or you can be nurturing to your husband or your spouse, you know, rubbing him down after he's had a long day, he's not feeling well, rubbing on his head, and, you know, fixing him a hot cup of tea, and, you know, letting him know that you love them. Your children, holding their hands while you're driving and letting them know that you love them. And, you know, I remember when my kids were little, I would hold one hand in the back. I'm not telling you to do this, but I would put one of my hands to the back seat where they were and just hold their hands and rub on their little hands every now and again, and to let them know that I love them without words, just touching, just a nurturing touch to let them know I was with them. I'm loving on you. I'm nurturing you through this video, letting you know that you have what it takes. You're the key to someone else's blessing. And you take responsibility and accountability for the things that you do, and things are going to work out. It might not happen when you want it to happen, but it will happen. Okay? It will happen. So that was N. N was nurture. Teach. T is the next letter. It's teach. Having teachable spirit. Learn what is necessary to lead. It takes a positive attitude to lead. It takes courage to lead. It takes enthusiasm to lead. It takes self-confidence to lead. Okay? It takes consistency to lead. Okay? And always remain teachable. Coachable and teachable. Don't ever get to the place where you know it all. You might know a lot of things, but you don't know everything. And so you leave yourself open to continue to learn. Okay? Yeah. The next letter is authoritatively attacking the needs that one sees or hears. Authoritatively attacking the needs that one sees or hears. I guess what I was thinking back then was taking authority and attacking the needs that one sees. Like, okay, you see someone homeless, right? Everybody has an opportunity to give, and everybody's not going to give, and that's not what it's all about. What you want to think about is, once you know that something is your responsibility, don't put it off on somebody else. You take the authority and you go ahead and move on it. Okay? And that's what that's about. Attacking the need. Things that is brought to your attention. Things that is brought to your ears. You hear it. So-and-so living in the park. What? And inside your higher self, you hear, you need to let that person come on. Now, I had a situation one time, and I would never give the person's name or anything like that. But it was a time in my life when this young lady was actually living in her car. And I had previously seen her at a gathering. And I told her, I said, if you ever need anything, and that was my higher self talking. I just truly believe that my higher self was connecting with her at that moment, saying that, if you need anything, I'll be there for you, And, but I never heard anything. And then the story got back that this person was living in their car. And so I went to, I think it was maybe, I probably went to church or something like that, or saw her somewhere or whatever. And told her, no, I told a friend of mine to tell her that she was welcome to come to my house. And so once I heard that she was living in a car, this was me taking authority over what I had heard. I didn't see it, but I heard it. And the fact that I heard it, I became responsible for this individual. I took responsibility. I took authority of the situation, said, listen, you can come stay with me. And so that's what I did. This is not to give bragging rights, but I feel that if we're supposed to be kingdom-minded, kingdom people, a lot of us hear things like, nah, I ain't doing it. A lot of times we need to do those things that we hear. For every person, there's a time and season for you to do something great for somebody that they will never know who this person is. But I want you to understand something. God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, has placed you, the person, in authority to take authority over certain situations. People are looking for miracles and blessings every day, and it's up to you to make sure that you follow through. So if it comes to you, then it's your responsibility to do something about it. But if it's not for you, you'll know it. Then maybe you just heard it so that you can connect that person to somebody else. But you have to do something because it came to you. It's something that you need. You need to deal with that on the inside of yourself and say, okay, you brought this to me. What do you want me to do? What is it that I'm supposed to do in this situation? Because everybody's, you don't just have anybody coming to your home. You don't just pick anybody up off the street. You don't just, you know what I'm saying? Everybody have a time. And I felt that was my time And it was a blessing to me. And as a matter of fact, I saw her at the store, Walmart. And I was so glad to see her, you know. I was like, hey, oh my God, how you doing? You know, and you could tell, you know, sometimes people, they're in a place, you know, and until we learn the lessons of life, you know, we'll continue to go through the same things until, you know, we make good on what it is that we need to do for ourselves. The next letter is B. Blessing those who may not deserve it and bold enough to face the enemy. In a situation like that, you may have the person come stay with you, and that person stabs you in the back, and they turn you, your kids or your family members against you, and you're trying to be a blessing to them. Then that person, you don't worry about the person, you turn that person over to God or to the universe. You speak blessings to people, because hurt people hurt people. Okay, happy people make other people happy. And so you want to make sure that whatever you do, you try to be a blessing to people, but you need to be bold enough to face that enemy and let them know, you know, I've allowed you to come into my home, and it's time for you to go. My time is up. I did what I was supposed to do, and it's time for you to move forward with your life. I gave you the opportunity to stay here, save your money, do whatever you need to do, but my time is up. And you know when your time is up, because when you exceed your time, then bad things begin to happen. Okay? The next letter is I, intellect. Intellectually stimulating one's mind to the next dimension. Okay? That means reading books, reading things that's going to, and listening to audiobooks that's going to help push you to your next level, to your next destiny. You know, it took me so long to do videos. You know, when I went to the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, I never thought that I would be on the news or anything like that. I did a good job with what I did. I know how to record and, you know, videos and edit and stuff like that. I'm probably a little rusty on the editing part, but standing before the camera and getting behind the camera and then editing the pieces and stuff like that. These videos, I don't edit. I just, you know, put them straight out there, because, you know, people need to see genuine people. They need to see what's real, what's true. Okay? They need to see authenticity. And sometimes I get tongue twisted. A lot of people don't know this, but years ago, I had a minor stroke. It's major, but it's minor, meaning I was able to learn how to talk again, read and write again. And even though it's been a challenge for me over the years, I've written 5 or 6 books. I'm still writing. And this is just an opportunity for me to just share my experiences. You know, people need to be encouraged. There's people that don't get their memory back. There's people that don't get the opportunity to, you know, fulfill their destiny or work another job or whatever after having strokes and stuff. They can't feed themselves. So I'm truly blessed. Thank the Lord. Intellectually, stimulate your mind. So once I had the stroke, guess what? I had to learn how to read and write all over again. I like to give a shout out to Beatrice Thompson, who told me I needed to read. And what she didn't know is that I had the stroke. She said, "Don't tell nobody that. You don't want to tell nobody that." But you need to tell people things like that, because they'll think you're just illiterate. And it's not that I'm illiterate or I didn't have the desire to learn. My reading comprehension skills was just way out. And she had told me to do something. She gave me a directive, told me to go stand in a specific spot or whatever. And I guess I misunderstood what she said, and she told me, she said, "Look, you need to read." And I told her that I was. Somebody had gave me some books, and my daughter, oldest daughter, she's 30 now, and she pretty much helped me learn how to read, because I still had to help her at school, and she was reading. You know, she was in 3rd grade. And so I thank God for that experience, because now I pick books up, I write books, and I encourage people along the way. So you want to make sure that you constantly stimulate your mind. You want to increase in the possibilities for yourselves and others, and be open to create revenue. You Are the Key to Someone Else's Blessing is on Amazon. I have another book entitled The Power of Being Woman. I love that book. I talk about a lot of things in that book, woman empowerment, and how we as women, we need to stick together, come back together. And a lot of people are doing that now, and I would like to think that I have something to do with that, because I talk about it all the time. Every job I've ever had, I've always talked about women coming back together. And I was talking to my sister. I told her, you're free to use any information in any of my books on your talk show. She had started a talk show. I went to school, and then come to find out she had a talk show. I said, well, use my information, because it's just information. People need help, you know. Women need to learn how to do certain things in relationships, and it's in the book. So courtship is in the book. Raising your children, it's in the book. Being hurt, it's in the book. Celibacy, it's in the book. The Power of Being Woman, it's in the book. And so these books that I write, You Are the Key to Someone Else's Blessing, talking about being responsible, talking about being accountable, talking about success as an option. Stop driving for others, start driving for yourself. Do you know, do what you know to do, and just do it. And you know what it takes, and you have what it takes. Do what you know to do, and just do it. That's chapter 5. And chapter 6 is you have what it takes. And then chapter 7 is whose keys are you holding? You're the key to someone else's blessing. These chapters in this book is basically talking about different things that I've had to encounter trying to hold on to my own dreams, and realizing that I am the key to someone else's blessing. Thank God for Miss Betty, who years ago told me, my kids, I guess it was about 2 or 3 years old, said, there are people waiting on you. And that really blessed me. And so time, the other T is time. Time is essential to every opportunity. Take time to investigate the possibilities. That's what I'm doing. I'm investigating. I'm taking opportunity to investigate what it is that the world needs. When I do these videos, you are free to give comments so that I'll know what's on your mind. And I'll direct you to the books that I've read, and also the books that I've written that talk about the subjects that you're interested in. The other Y is yearn. Yearn for something greater in you. You are the key. Yearn for something greater. Don't just settle. Why are you settling? Why are you settling for God knows what? Whether you claim to be a person of God or whatever, Christian, Messianic, Hebrew, whatever you call yourself, make sure you represent what it is that you say you represent. You want to make sure that you give honor to those that are your leaders, you know. And if you say you believe in God, then you need to make sure that you represent who God is. God is good. You know what I'm saying? So do good. Do something good. Do something that's going to really be a blessing to people, you know. And again, those words for accountability is acceptance, care, coach, ownership, unification, nurture, teach, authority, bless, intellect, love, increase, time, and yearn. It has truly been a blessing to sit and speak to you tonight concerning accountability. This is part 2 of accountability. And I share those words out of You Are the Key to Someone Else's Blessing. Please take the opportunity to go to Amazon.com, look under Terza Steele Simmons, and know that you are the key to someone else's blessing. Thank you so much for having me. Good night.